Surveillance systems are supposed to keep you secure, but all too often this feeling of extra safety is simply just an illusion. Bad things can always happen in an instant, and during these types of situations, all a surveillance system can do is document the scary events as they unfold. Number 13. This video was taken just outside of the notoriously haunted Dover Castle in England. A large dark form slowly walks across an entranceway and soon attracts the attention of a security guard patrolling nearby. The guard walks over to investigate, and the shadow silently passes beneath his feet without detection. Normally, I'd say this could have been some sort of technical malfunction with the CCTV equipment itself, but watching the security guard walk to the exact same spot makes me think otherwise. Number 12. Two people are taking a dip in the pool when a fierce reptile rips their family-friendly gathering apart. Children and other family members cry out in surprise as the feisty alligator quickly claims its territory and drives everyone out of the pool. It's not a full-grown adult, but its jaws are still large enough to do some damage. Fortunately, everyone escapes the situation unscathed. This could have easily gone a lot worse. However, there is always a chance it could happen again. Number 11. These drivers in China narrowly miss a gigantic landslide that could have easily swallowed all of them whole. You can see a couple of pedestrians barely manage to scramble to safety as an endless barrage of dirt, debris, and trees fills the area where they were standing only moments before. As the CCTV dashcam clearly shows, the sheer force behind this landslide would have had no problem carrying a few cars down the mountainside had it reached just a few feet closer. Number 10. A man in Australia is perusing his phone when an unwelcome guest slithers directly under him. Fortunately, his loyal dog has incredibly fast reflexes and manages to alert him to the snake's presence within seconds. Now it's the owner's turn to save his dog's life by leading him as far away from this creature as he can. As it turns out, this is actually an eastern brown snake, which is the second most venomous snake in the entire world. Unlike most snakes, this aggressive species will not hesitate to protect its territory. You've already seen how fast they can move, so with its speed and temperament in mind, it should come as no surprise to learn that they have ended the lives of many Australians in the past. In other words, this is absolutely the last snake you would want to charge towards your bare feet while you are completely oblivious on your cell phone. I can only imagine how terrified he must have been to see a wild specimen so close. Number 9. Imagine traveling down a busy city street when suddenly cars, buildings, and even the sidewalk starts to rumble beneath your feet. That's exactly what happened to the South Asian country of Nepal in 2017. Onlookers watch in horror as power lines snap and spark on the roads. Everyone scatters for cover only to find there is nowhere to run when the earth itself is the problem. Meanwhile, store interiors become absolute chaos as heavy items clatter to the ground from the shelves and entire aisles topple over. The very foundation of the building itself threatens to collapse under the immense shaking. Watch again and you'll see this brave woman pick up her child seconds before a cascading avalanche of items would have surely crushed him. It's amazing how quickly someone can become a hero with barely a moment's thought. Number 8. This video was taken in a public housing development on Jurong Road in Singapore. Anthony claims he's been experiencing strange supernatural occurrences on his property and decides to set up a CCTV system. He's both amazed and terrified when one of his cameras actually verifies his story. A small white object darts down the hall with enough force to rustle some clothing. A slowed-down version of the video reveals a vaguely childlike figure about the size of a toddler. It could just be video editing, but let me know if you see it and what you think it is. Number 7. Here's another strange surveillance tape out of Singapore, this time at an apartment building in Tampines. Most of the orb videos I've seen in the past could be explained away as a piece of dust, but this is clearly something way different. At first, I thought that this was someone playing with a high-powered flashlight, but then I realized two things. You can usually see a ray of light leading back to a person holding the flashlight, but there's no such thing here. Secondly, the orb appears to briefly switch to a gray color when it hits the wall. Watch this part of the video to see the colors change. That's not something an ordinary flashlight would do. If anyone can explain these two things to me, then I'll agree that it's fake. Number 6. A Chicago couple go out for a fun night on the town and then return home after they'd had a few. They pass out on the couch together, and when they wake up the next day, the girlfriend's purse is nowhere to be found. Her boyfriend keeps telling her that she must have left it at the bar last night, but she insists that she remembers bringing it home. He finally decides to end the argument by looking at the home surveillance footage from the night before. This way, he can retrace their steps and figure out if her purse really was with her when they came home.
Is it that one? Who did this? I found a configuration file that really fit the pattern of IP addresses. Once you decrypt it, you'll know where the hack came from.
The last thing he expected to see while reviewing the footage was a man in a hooded sweatshirt silently watching them from a staircase above as they slept. After staring at the couple for approximately 5 minutes, he goes deeper into the house, then he reappears and watches some more. What's even more astonishing is that the couple had 2 dogs with them, and that the man was so quiet that even the pets did not notice him. Police are sure that this person has been involved in other incidents like this and are working hard to find him. Who knows how many other people in Chicago he has stood over while they slept, or what other sort of fantasies and other impulses could have possibly been going through his mind at the time. Number 5. The CCTV video comes from an unnamed museum after hours. First, you can see the turnstile move on its own, as if someone has been granted admission. Next, the turnstile suddenly stops, and you can see the clear outline of a figure as it makes a brisk exit. I'm not quite sure what to make of this footage, but many people think it could be real, since museums are often filled with ancient artifacts that could be haunted. Number 4. Jails offer no privacy, and a lot of them have CCTV equipment in nearly every corner. This video of an empty cell seems ordinary enough until a shadow materializes out of nowhere. The restless spirit briefly paces in a circle and then goes to the far corner. It seems to step onto the toilet and then jumps out of sight. If this is not CGI, then it could be a spirit reenacting the final moments before taking its own life with a rope or something similar. This is sadly a common practice in jail and can be done with anything from shoelaces to a tied up shirt. Maybe a desperate inmate once tied something around their neck to the bars above and jumped off the toilet. They were obviously trying to escape their punishment, but now it looks like they doomed themselves here for all eternity. Number 3. A camera watching over a neighborhood block records something quite abnormal. At the stroke of midnight, a transparent figure shambles across the street towards an alleyway in uneven strides. When you look at the footage up close, you can see that the movements are kind of repetitive. So I'm thinking that maybe somebody made an edit using a video game model. If you recognize this character from any game or movie, then please let me know which one. Number 2. It's a rainy night in Mumbai, India, and everyone in this household is fast asleep, including the family dog, who you can see hunkered down in the corner. The heavy rain helps mask the approach of one of India's most cunning predators, the wild leopard. The sleeping dog appears to be an easy target for a late night meal as I watch the leopard expertly search for a way into the house, careful not to make a sound. I can't help but suspect that it often raids home in search of pets to eat. Either way, the feline predator can't seem to find a good entrance, so it decides to try and make its own. The brave little dog wakes up and comes face to face with a jungle cat 5 times its size. The leopard knows its cover has been blown and wanders off as quietly as it came before any humans can arrive. It looks like the dog has won for now, but hopefully its owners will keep a close eye on him whenever he goes outside. After all, leopards have a good memory and there's always next time. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I'm currently doing a super poll on my Instagram. If you believe ghosts are real, then go to my most recent photo and tap the like button. If you don't, DM me saying why. When you're done, come right back to this video to find out the number 1 entry. Also, follow me on Twitter at YTChills because that's where I post video updates. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way you'll be notified of the new videos I upload every Thursday and Sunday. Number 1. A man in Queens, New York, woke up one morning to find his cell phone randomly missing from his dresser. Since he lives all by himself and only puts his phone in one spot, he decides to check the surveillance footage to see what happened. What he finds is enough to make any reasonable person permanently paranoid. The camera shows a young man who he has never met before enter his home at 2:20 in the morning through an unlocked back door. The invader gets all the way across the man's house to his bedroom without being detected, at which point he gets on all fours and crawls just a few feet away from the homeowner's bed. Meanwhile, the unsuspecting homeowner is completely asleep and none the wiser. The bandit briefly comes up to snatch the cell phone and then quickly makes off. The man is understandably quite shaken by all of this when he notices one other large detail that he had failed to notice before. The young thief must have been ready to meet some resistance and came prepared for a showdown. Clutched tightly between his teeth as he snaked across the floor was a very sizable blade. Abandoned houses are thought to hold the residual energies of those who once lived inside. In other words, people with troubled lives tend to leave behind troubled spirits in return. The supposed ghosts on this list are rumored to have been driving curious explorers from their homes for years, often sending the trespassers screaming as they flee.